There are millions of dinosaurs here on the prehistoric planet, but only 10 species are hard-rocking, bone-crushing, and blood-curdling enough to make our list. Think you know dinosaurs? Wait till you find out what we know. They're the top 10 animals of the prehistoric planet, and the countdown starts now. You're traveling back in time. Millions of years flash by in seconds. You're going face to face with the wildest creatures that ever walked the earth. You're about to explore Prehistoric Planet. Back in the age of the dinosaurs, everywhere you look, amazing animals are competing for a spot in our top 10 of all time. So who's gonna step up and get this party started? He's right here in the Triassic period. Over 220 million years ago, kicking off the countdown in killer style, it's number 10, Coelophysis. Now wait a second, what's a scrawny little half-a-nothing like that doing in our top 10? Well, he's not the biggest dinosaur on our list, and he's definitely not the baddest, but he is the earliest. We're talking 150 million years before T-Rex dared show his face. And number 10 is already terrorizing the Triassic trout. Here's what makes him so list-worthy and so dangerous. A deadly combination of skills and speed. He's got hollow bones, just like a modern bird, making him one of the great sprinters of his day. And how's this for a survival skill? When Coelophysis are hungry enough, they'll even eat each other. But going cannibal is a last resort, and totally unnecessary when Coelophysis use their most lethal weapon, teamwork. Postosuchus is a gigantic reptile, more than twice as big as these scrawny 10-foot dinosaurs. But together, a Coelophysis pack isn't scared of anything. And that makes them even more dangerous. With those meat-ripping teeth, speed to burn, and a killer instinct for teamwork, Coelophysis is on the cutting edge, and they're the shape of things to come. Now, while some of our top 10 dinosaurs are expert killers, others are champion survivors. Show them what I mean, number 9. Coming to us all the way from the Cretaceous period, it's the countdown's next creature, Iguanodon. So what's the big deal about a herd of vegetarian dinosaurs? How about this? Some species of Iguanodon can get up to 30 feet long. That's like a stretch limo and a half. Big Ig might look like a gentle plant eater, but you don't want to test him in hand-to-hand combat. His thumb is tipped with a deadly spike. Scientists think he uses it to gouge out his enemy's eyes. Still not impressed? Take it up with Polacanthus. These two species help keep each other safe from the local carnivores. Utah raptor is one of the most vicious hunters in the Cretaceous, so you just know he's looking for a way into the prehistoric planet's top 10. But first, he's got to top this. Iguanodon chews his food. Chews it! Now that might not seem like a big deal to you, but way back when, it was a revolutionary evolution. Here's why. Every bite that Iggy chews gives him a mega boost of energy, much more than if he just swallowed his salad whole. And with such deadly predators around, Iguanodon needs all the energy he can get. Who'd ever guess that a big old vegetarian like that could do the 100-meter dash in 23 seconds? Ha! Not Utah raptor, that's for sure. But Utah raptor doesn't give up that easily. He's just warming up, getting ready to show the ancient world why he's our number 8. You know that Utah raptor is one of the deadliest dinosaurs. But did you know he's also one of the smartest? The fossil record from the Cretaceous period doesn't lie. He had an extra large brain, and all he thinks about is hunting. I would too if I had an 11-inch toenail. That thing's like a built-in switchblade, a lethal weapon that's always ready for action. What do you say, Utah? How about a demonstration? Raptors, like Utah, are in the same family as modern birds, and when they get their speed up, they can practically fly. And just to make life that much harder for their victims, they know how to hunt in teams, too. At 20 feet long and almost half a ton, Utah raptors are some of the biggest dinosaurs of their kind. So of course, they've got monster appetites, deadly weapons, killer instincts, and the brains to use them. The Prehistoric Planet's top 10's most terrifying so far. Hold it! If a dinosaur this fearsome is only number 8, how dangerous is the rest of the countdown going to be? The top 10 countdown continues, and every last dinosaur is wondering which one of them is going to be next on the list. Well, get ready for a shock, dinos. This top 10 is getting crashed by one of the biggest, boldest, bravest pterosaurs that ever lived. Say it with me now. Ornithochirus. And he's got number 7 written all over him. He may have lived in the dinosaur age, but Ornithochirus is a flying reptile. A huge, scary, flying reptile. And get a load of that wingspan. We're talking 40 feet. The same as a small airplane. Height, 10 feet. Same as a basketball hoop. With 220 pounds of ripped reptile muscle. Not big enough for you? Well, did I mention the 4-foot-long beak, bursting at the seams with all those nasty-looking teeth? These flying reptiles bring serious top 10 skills. Skills that help them bring home the bacon. Correction, bring home the fish. But those skills are nothing compared to the king of the pterosaurs' endurance. Once a year, during mating season, Ornithochirus takes off on an 8,500-mile trip. How's he do it? Just spreads those mega wings and catches warm gusts of air called thermals. Just one measly flap can take him up to 300 miles. That's like gliding across the entire state of Pennsylvania without hardly breaking a sweat. Which is definitely something to crow about. Who's next on our countdown? You aren't gonna believe your eyes. They're here in the late Cretaceous. Nope, it's not Triceratops. It's their close and much cooler relatives, Torosaurus. And they're horning their way into the spotlight at number 6. And they deserve it, because Torosaurus has something the world-famous Triceratops can only dream of. The biggest head on Earth. I mean, just look at the thing. It's like the cranium that ate the Cretaceous. 9 feet from top to bottom. And not only is it huge, the thing does tricks. When a torosaur gets in a showdown, it pumps blood into its skull's crest to intimidate the challenger. And the fiery forehead works. But Torosaurus didn't get to be number 6 just because of his radical head bone. Get an eye full of those horns. They're 3 feet long and built for action. Torosaurs pack 4.5 tons of pure power behind those monsters. And that's enough power to bring some serious pain. So give it up for Torosaurus. We're back and counting down Prehistoric Planet's top 10 of the dinosaur age. Think you've seen some big-time prehistoric power so far? Then hit the late Jurassic period. And take a good, long look. Nothing in our countdown is bigger than Diplodocus. We're talking 90 feet long. 26 of those feet is neck. It's the longest creature to ever plod the planet. That's 1.5 times as long as a tractor trailer. That That alone is enough to make these guys a rock-solid number 5. Every last thing about Diplodocus is gigantic. Weight, 25 tons. That's the same as 5 African elephants. And their footprints are the size of manhole covers. And as if being gargantuan isn't enough, these behemoths stick together in herds of around 30. Is that an awesome sight or what? But what else would you expect? Well, probably not that these massive creatures communicate by waving their skinny little tails. And definitely not that they live on nothing but salad. But it's true. They eat almost non-stop, just stripping the tasty leaves off the plants. With Diplodocus around, no plant was safe. Not even trees. Chew on this. Entire prairies were created by herds of hungry Diplodocus, snapping trees like twigs. And they didn't even eat the things. They were just clearing a path to the way tastier plants down below. But the most amazing thing about these humongous herbivores is how small they start out. They hatch from eggs the size of bowling balls that their mom buries underground. And then they proceed to pack on a whopping 2,000 pounds a year. If they can survive until they're 9 years old, they'll probably live to be 100. Sound good to you, little guy? Because by then, you'll be too massive to take down. A full-fledged prairie-making, earth-shaking dinosaur. And if any bloodthirsty predators out there, like Allosaurus, have a problem with it, well, oh! They don't just talk with that tail, do they? But guess what? The nastiest, most vicious predator in the Jurassic doesn't give up that easily. Welcome to the bloodthirsty world of our number 4, Allosaurus. Yep, killing is their business, and business is good. How could it not be? With expandable jaws that take 100-pound bites, serrated, flesh-ripping teeth, and arms way stronger than T-Rex's, equipped with 3 6-inch meat-hook claws. Oh, and did I mention the foot claws? Strong, sharp, and up to 11 inches long. It's a lethal predator package, backed up by patience so deadly, sometimes even Diplodocus goes down. Allosaurs are so dedicated to kicking butt, they don't even let up on each other. That's what I call an appetite for destruction. Think Allosaurus earned the right to be called number 4? I'd say that's a yes. Now the question is, how can anything top Allosaurus? Did someone say 7-ton tank? Meet number 3, Stegosaurus. That's right, I said Stegosaurus. And if anyone's got a problem with that, take it up with the tail. The thing's strong enough to break bones. Plus, it's tricked out with 3-foot-long spikes. And if you somehow get past it, his plates are like barbed wire. Now, some people crack on Stegosaurus for having a brain that's only the size of a walnut. Please. What they, and Allosaurus, don't know is that Stegosaurus practically has 2 brains. Say what? You heard me. Stegosaurus has this brain-like organ in its hips, and it takes care of stuff like walking, tail thrashing, and sending blood to his spinal plates so he can look even nastier, which leaves the walnut brain free to concentrate on facing down nasty predators. When Steggy gets tough, Allosaurus knows enough to use his brain and back off. The Prehistoric Planet's top 10 countdown is coming to an end. Somewhere out in the Cretaceous forest, number 2 is making one heck of a racket. It's Tyrannosaurus Rex, the tyrant lizard king. Say what? T-Rex is only a runner-up? This is outrageous. This top 10 list has got to be rigged. Everyone knows T-Rex is a giant. She measures 45 feet long, almost half a basketball court. And those jaws can bite off 200 pounds of meat in one bite. Bon appetit. But did you know that the female T-Rexes were actually more dangerous than the males? If he's not careful, she might even attack him. Now here comes someone T-Rex doesn't want you to know about. Puny Didelphodon is one of her bitterest enemies. This little mammal feeds on T-Rex eggs. Of course, that's when they don't end up as hors d'oeuvres themselves. T-Rex evolved specifically to eat other dinosaurs, as this Anatotitan is about to find out. Who needs big arms when you've got jaws like those? And her teeth are the size of bananas. They're serrated, like steak knives. No surprise there, considering Rexy's favorite food. But just when you think you know everything there is to know about T-Rex, they'll go and surprise you. These monsters also have a softer side. When they're chicks, T-Rexes can't hunt for themselves, so they stick close to the crib and wait for Mom to bring home some tasty takeout. Sometimes T-Rex flexes her muscles in the name of defense. Ankylosaurus is just a plant eater, but he's trespassing. T-Rex, she's 5 tons of top predator, always looking for a fight. And this time, she found it. Ooh, direct hit. That's how you make the tyrant lizard queen mad. All 45 feet of her. Stupid idea, unless you want to see the inside of her stomach. With a mighty mouth that can eat a 10th grader in one bite, banana-sized teeth, and a taste for pain, no dinosaur can lay a claw on T-Rex. And he's still only second best. Which brings us to the moment we've been waiting for. Prepare to enter the jaws of number 1. Okay, now this is just plain ridiculous. How's that thing tougher than old T-Rex? Meet the real number 1. Liopleurodon, the top of our top 10 of all time. How did a marine reptile beat out competition like T-Rex? You saw it yourself. This guy eats dinosaurs in one bite. 100 million years ago, Liopleurodon was the living definition of bad. This predator from the Jurassic is just the biggest carnivore that ever lived, and the most terrifying. End of story. His 10-foot jaws are only the beginning of an 80-foot-long body. With 4 massive flippers, he can move faster than any modern whale can dream of swimming. Check the scale. Liopleurodon is more massive than T-Rex, Ornithochirus, Coelophysis, and Allosaurus put together. And way deadlier than any great white. Hey, what are these guys doing way back in the Jurassic? It's a fact. Sharks have been around since prehistory. Nowadays, they think they're pretty fearsome, and so do most people. But next to this number 1 nightmare, sharks look like goldfish. Liopleurodon isn't the biggest name of the dinosaur age. He's just the hugest carnivore of all time, 80 feet long with a mouth the size of a minivan. No other prehistoric creature can measure up to him, not even T-Rex. Most people don't know his story, but now you do. And really, Now that you've seen our top sea monster, how are you ever gonna look at dinosaurs the same again? So, for his amazing size and hunting expertise, we rank Liopleurodon #1 of the Prehistoric Planet's top 10 of all time. Even if some cranky dinosaurs out there can't quite accept it.